Rolling. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to EnglishClass101.com's weekly live stream. My name is Alicia, and today we are going to talk about expressions that you can use for gossip. So I know gossip has kind of a bad reputation, but I think everybody at some point talks about the goings on around them at work or with your friends or whatever. So today we're going to talk about some expressions you can use for gossip and rumors. Look at this thumbnail. I look very shocked in this one. I look very, sneaky in this one. So this is going to be today's topic. We are going to start in just a couple minutes. So as you join, please make sure to hit the like button, share the video, and say hello. Send a comment in the chat. We'll begin in about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. All right, hi, YouTube. I see YouTube chat. Good morning, YouTube. Hello, as always. Lots of people I see from Brazil, as always, live. Welcome. Facebook is coming shortly too, so we'll see that in just a moment. Oh, no, Facebook is quick. Hi, from Afghanistan. Silent. Hi, and Tarek. Hi. Great. Facebook is up fast today. Great. Okay, so we're going to take a couple minutes for everyone to join us. In the meantime, I always like to share something from the previous week's lesson. So last week, if you joined us, we talked about Valentine's Day and some sort of like love and dating related words. So I saw in a comment on the video, on the live stream video from last week, there was this really nice little thing that I saw in the comment section here. I took a screenshot of it. Someone said like they hope that someone says yes to them on Valentine's Day. And then a fellow commenter said, you found someone, would you like to arrange a Skype conversation or something? So this person had a great, very cute follow-up to this person's comment in the live stream last week. I saw that. I loved it. I thought it was so cute, so I wanted to share. Okay, but maybe you used it. I guess it's Valentine's Day in some countries still right now. So I hope you enjoyed a nice Valentine's Day. But this week we'll talk about a different topic, gossip, and discussing other people's things. But I had a couple questions. Last week we had one good question I want to talk about. I did not see live. Davoud asked, do men always invite women for dates in the US? And the answer is no. It's common for women to invite men also. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you can invite anybody. Anybody can invite anybody on a date is my point there. So please feel free. Anyone can make an invitation for a date. Okay. Great. We are about 3 minutes in. I see lots of people in the YouTube chat. Hi, YouTube. And I see a couple people in the Facebook chat too. Hi, Facebook. Hi. Whoa, Kelso. Hi. I don't remember you. Andre as well. And Alan Fernandez. Hi. Someone from Bangladesh in YouTube too. Okay. But let us begin. So as I said, gossip has sort of like a negative image, I think, but it is useful to be able to do. So today I'm going to introduce some expressions that you can use to start a conversation, start by sharing some gossip, either like about someone you know or something that happened to you. Then we're going to talk about how to respond to gossip, and we'll talk about also maybe some expressions you can use for giving advice relating to gossip. So I hope that there's some useful information in here for everybody this week. So let's begin. I want to start today by talking about ways to introduce a topic. So when you first meet a friend, like for coffee, for a drink, and you have some exciting gossip, some exciting news you want to share, let's take a look at a few expressions you can use to begin your conversation. So these are expressions you can use. That have like a kick. They're like really like, oh, pay attention to me. So if you were in our live stream 2 weeks ago, maybe you remember this OMG, which means oh my God. So I used OMG here because oh my gosh or oh my God takes space. But use this. Oh my God, guess what happened? Oh, thank you, Kyle. That's very nice. So, oh my God, guess what happened? Or you can also include this to me at the end of the expression. So if you want to share something that happened to you, something someone did to you, or something you personally experienced, you can use to me. If you don't want to talk about yourself, you want to talk about something you saw, something you heard, but it wasn't related to you, it did not happen to you, you can remove to me. So just say, oh my God, guess what happened? To share something just outside of you. So this is a really great one, very casual, this expression. Oh my God, guess what happened to me? Okay, that's one. This one is probably something pretty shocking or pretty exciting. So the expression is, you'll never believe what happened. So here you see this you will. So if you remember, we studied this a long time ago, this will. We use it for like things that we decide at the moment of speaking. So the person saying, right now, you will never believe what happened to me. So this is quite promising. This sounds like something really exciting. You'll never believe what happened. So past tense, something happened in the past tense, and you, the listener, will never believe it. So it's quite shocking. Of course, if you want something very simple, very quick, very easy, use the expression, guess what? Guess what? This is really easy to use, very common to use. If these two are difficult, I suggest this one. Guess what? So I have here like this question mark, exclamation point. Guess what? So you should say it with that like excited sort of upward intonation. Yeah. So these are 3 ways to introduce some exciting gossip or some shocking information. So, oh my God, guess what happened to me? Or you'll never believe what happened. Or just guess what? Okay. But keep in mind, if you use this guess what expression, the listener might try to guess. So sometimes it depends on who you're talking to, but the listener might say something rude or try to make a joke, or they'll just try to guess what your news is. So if you use this, or if you use this as well, guess, you're inviting the listener to make a guess. What do you think happened? So sometimes your listener will make a guess here. But you should be prepared to just follow up quickly with the information. Okay, so that's our first point for today, is how to introduce some news, some exciting news. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to steal the mouse, Kyle. Thank you, sorry. To the next point. Okay, so you have, thanks, Kyle. So you have introduced it. You've introduced, I have some exciting news. Now, what do you do? So it's a good idea. This is just perhaps from me, a storytelling point, I think. If you introduce your news with this exciting expression, oh my God, guess what happened to me? You should report your information quickly and efficiently. So I don't think anyway, you should begin with a long story and like lots and lots of background, but perhaps begin with the key information. So to report your gossip then, for grammar, I would recommend these 2 points, these 2 things, a quick way to report your news. One is a simple past tense statement, a simple past tense statement. So like, I don't know, my neighbors got divorced, or my coworker finally quit his job, something like that. So again, slowly, I said my neighbors got divorced, or my coworker finally quit his job. So these are very short and simple past tense statements. So it just tells you the information right away. Simple past tense, the action has happened. It is finished. It is done. Another good one to use is a present progressive tense statement. So this is useful. Present progressive tense, remember. Present progressive tense, if you have forgotten, present progressive tense is this ing form of the verb. Yeah. So when you use the present progressive tense, it's like you heard some news about an activity that is going on. Like, our friends are dating, or let's see, I'm being investigated, or something like that. I don't know. So you can use the present progressive tense to talk about an ongoing action. So to report your gossip, it's a good idea, and it's kind of like exciting for the listener to use a quick short statement, maybe with one of these grammar points. So it doesn't have to be these 2, but these might be useful ways to do it. So given this, let's begin. So get ready to send something in the chat then. To do our first chat practice question for today, please share an exciting piece of gossip. Please share a piece of gossip. So here I've used a piece of gossip. This is what we use to talk about this. A piece of gossip. Something small. So for example, I could say, President Trump said something terrible on Twitter again. Or like I said, my difficult coworker finally quit his job. Or I think my neighbors are getting divorced. So try to share a piece of gossip. On Facebook, MD Sadiq said, I lost my phone. Okay, keep in mind though, gossip tends to be about people. Gossip tends to be about people. I mean, if you have something like my friend was in a car accident, like that's about a person. It's like shocking news about a person. But just remember, gossip tends to be about like people. Something about people. Oh, hey, Junior. Junior says, guess what? I saw my friend stealing something from the store. Nice one. Good, good, good. Okay. Justin says, oh my God, today my girlfriend asked me out, but I don't know what to say. Really? You don't know what to say? She's your girlfriend. I'll leave that up to you. Okay. Sharif says, hi, Sharif. You'll never believe what happened. Selena Gomez broke up on the weekend. Oh, broke up with someone on the weekend. Great. So broke up with a person. Oh, broke up. Oh, The Weeknd is his name. Oh, The Weeknd is his name. Thanks, Kyle. Really? The Weeknd is a person? Is that really? It's a rapper. Oh my God. I'm so out of the loop. Wow. The Weeknd is a person. Thanks, YouTube. You taught me something today. Great. Okay. Broke up with The Weeknd. All right. The Weeknd is a person. It is not a time period only anymore. Okay, great. Juliet on YouTube says, my sister's ex-boyfriend is gay. Wow, you guys have some interesting gossip. What else? Guess what? I saw a UFO. Is that true? Okay. MD Sadiq says, I can't find my girlfriend. Oh my gosh, you guys have like some very heavy gossip. I hope these aren't true. I hope all of these aren't true. Oh my gosh. Okay, great. Very, very nice. So you everybody, not everybody, lots of people are using oh my God to introduce these things. It's awesome. Perfect. Really, really nicely done. And guess what too? Guess what? My sister traveled to the USA. Great. I can't read your name, but very nice. Okay. Justin, this is American English. I have an American English accent. I'm from the West Coast. Okay. Great gossip, you guys. That was hilarious. Okay, but let's take a break. Today, as we had last week, today we have free PDFs for you guys again. So if you have not checked it, please check the link below the video on YouTube and above the video on Facebook. There are free PDFs for you guys to check out. These are vocabulary, phrases, and questions that you can use in some different everyday situations. So today we're talking about gossip a little bit. Last week we talked about like love and romance. But if there's something in your life that you know that you need to work on that vocabulary, like for example, maybe for today's lesson, the family and relatives one could be a good vocabulary kind of group to review. Like if you want to talk about something your family member did or a person near you in your life, you might want to check like that one. Or maybe you can check the school one to refresh your mind about maybe something that happened on campus. So you can take a look at these. These are totally free if you have an account on the website. If you don't have an account, you can make an account very quickly. So please check that out. Okay. But let's get back to today's live lesson. If you have not, please make sure to hit the like button. Very helpful for us. Please hit the like button, share the video, whatever. Today we are talking about gossip. We're talking about gossip. So we began today by introducing your gossip, introducing something exciting, and then sharing it. Some grammar points you can use to share it. Now, let's talk about some things that the listener might ask you. Or, of course, you might ask someone else when they share some gossip with you. So, let's take a look at 3 questions. Yes, thanks, Kyle. Okay, so these 3 questions are asking about background then. So you share your gossip, like, what did I say? What was one of mine? Like, President Trump said something terrible on Twitter, for example. How do you know? So, how do you know is one expression I want to talk about, but I want to introduce this one too first. How did you find out? How did you find out? So, many people ask about this how. So, think of this how not like in what way, but rather think of this as like why. Why do you know that? Or what was the source of your information? So, how did you find out? Find out is a casual expression we use, which means like discover, to discover something or to learn something. So, how do you know? Why do you know that? Or how did you find out? So, where is your source? Where did you discover that? If, however, the gossip is about something that happened to the speaker, you can say, what happened? That's a very general expression asking for more background information. So here, if someone says, what happened? Or if you ask, what happened? It's asking for the details of the story. So I got in a car accident. What happened? So asking for the other things that happened before the accident, in other words. So here, when someone asks, how do you know? Or how did you find out? You can say the source. Where did you hear the information? So here, again, we would probably use a simple past tense or a progressive tense statement. Like, we'll see a couple examples here in just a moment, actually. I'll introduce actually quite a few patterns that you can use to report information, not just gossip, actually. So let's take a look at how to respond to these questions. I have quite a few patterns here. So here, if you saw the video that went up on the channel, I think earlier this week, about the verbs say, tell, and speak, I talked a little bit about this word. So this is tell in the past tense, told. So if you received information from someone, you can use it here. The person's name, like my mom told me, or my manager told me, or my friend told me some information. If the source is something you saw it with your eyes. So you can say, I saw my neighbors on a date, or I saw it on Twitter, for example. You can use past tense saw to report the information. You can also use the verb hear. I heard it, where it is the news. It is your piece of gossip. So I heard it from my coworker, or I heard it from the management at my company. So again, this will be the source. So keep in mind, this is I heard it. So it's some information you heard with your ear. So you would not probably use like newspaper here. So I heard it. Okay, the next one though, this is an interesting word, overheard. So here you can see the verb hear is in the word at the end here. But to overhear is the present tense of this verb. To overhear means to hear something, but it's not intended for you. So I think everybody has the experience. For example, you're sitting in the office or you're sitting in a coffee shop and you can hear someone else's conversation, but the conversation is not for you. You can hear it. So we say overhear. To overhear something is like by accident. You hear something by accident. So I overheard it in the office the other day, for example. You could try saying they announced it at the meeting this morning, for example. Or for information you read, and please be careful of the pronunciation here. I read it in the newspaper, or I read it in a recent memo, for example. So these are all some past tense examples of how you can report your source of gossip. Good. Some examples in the chat too. I heard it from you. Good. I saw an accident. Good. I saw a couple enjoying Valentine's Day. Nice, nice. So keep in mind, how did you get the information? With your eyes, with your ears? Did you read it? Did you watch it? So keep that in mind when you share the source. You might also hear an interesting word. Maybe some of you have heard the word eavesdropping. Eavesdropping. So I talked about the word over here, which means to hear something on accident. But this word, eavesdropping, this is as a noun here. To eavesdrop on a situation means to listen on purpose to a private conversation. So it's like standing outside the door listening to something on purpose. To eavesdrop on a conversation. This word has a very interesting history about people who stand out under the eaves. So the eaves of a building are like the parts where the gutter is, the outside of a building that extends from the roof. So a person who stands under the roof, the extended part of the roof, and listens to a conversation secretly. That's an eavesdropper. Little word history. Okay, so let's go back to the piece of gossip you shared in the first part of today's lesson. So some of you said, like, I can't find my girlfriend, or what else did you say? You guys had some pretty shocking things. I don't know if they were all true. But anyway, please share. How did you find out about the piece of gossip you shared earlier? So please share how you learned about your piece of gossip. So I saw or I heard it from, for example. So in my case, like President Trump said something terrible on Twitter. I can say, I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter. Or I heard it from my friend. So how did you find out? How did you learn about your piece of gossip? Okay. Oh wow, somebody made a big sentence or lots of stuff in YouTube with all of the examples. Nice job. Okay. Oh wow, we have Barack Hussein Obama in the chat today. Hello, Mr. President. So how did you learn about your piece of gossip? Your piece of gossip. So in my case, like I find out my neighbors are dating. I can say, oh my gosh, I saw them like holding hands, or I saw them on a date. Junpei, nice one. I heard it from Yahoo News. Keep in mind, if you read it, remember, if it's something you read, you can say, I read it on Yahoo News. I read it on Yahoo News. Garrison, hey Garrison, says, I heard that from Gossip Girl. Isn't that a TV show? Yeah. Good. Please talk about my accent. I don't know how to talk about my accent. I heard it from my newspaper. Yeah, keep in mind, like I said, if it's something that you read, if it's a source you read, please use the verb read. So I read it in my newspaper. I read it in my newspaper. So if it's a source you read, use the verb read. Mary says, I saw it on the news. Great, nice one. Anderson says, I heard it from the horse's mouth. That's an interesting expression. I heard it from television. Good. I heard it on TV. Good. I heard it from a TV show. Good, good, good. Nice. Very nice. Lots of good ones there. Okay. Time is going quick though. So let's finish up today. I want to finish up today with 2 points. And actually, I want to do something. We don't get a chance to do this really so often. I want to try to do a little review of kind of some intonation. I know that I can't hear you guys, unfortunately, and I can't practice directly with you. But I just want to remind you about the importance of intonation in your conversation. So let's say you have heard some gossip or you have heard some background information. So let's talk about reacting to that naturally. So before we begin this last section, I just want to mention 2 points about intonation, about using your intonation. When you are interested in something, try to use, I've got an up arrow here, this upward intonation when you respond to someone. If you're not interested, you can use downward intonation. So I'm going to share with you a big list of words you can use to react to someone. But please keep in mind, when you're interested in something, you want to continue the conversation or you're interested in the topic, you can use upward intonation in your responses. That helps the listener, or that helps the speaker understand that you want to continue. If you use downward intonation, it's like a little clue that maybe the topic should change. So let's look at some examples. How can we do this? Okay, so I have a big list over here. So pretty much almost all of these words we can use this intonation rule with. So if you're interested, here, for example, if you say, whoa, with upward intonation, you sound excited. You can say, really? Great. That's terrible. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Amazing. I see. All of those with upward intonation, they sound like you're interested in the conversation. If, however, you use downward intonation like, whoa, really, great, that's terrible, oh my God, unbelievable, amazing, I see, you don't sound as interested. So please keep this in mind. It's not only about the vocabulary words you use when you're listening to someone, but it's also about the sound of your voice and how engaged, how much interest you're showing in the conversation. So all of these words can be used. Please keep in mind this word like amazing is or great. These are positive words. So if you use these two words with downward intonation, you'll sound kind of sarcastic, like not so genuine. So please keep that in mind. But you should be thinking about the sound of your voice when you respond with one of these words. So please keep this in mind. This is just a small intonation point that I hope can help you in your responses and in listening to responses for other people too. Okay, but we are running out of time, so let's go to the last point for today. So you hear some gossip or you share some gossip, and then maybe you want to end the conversation with some advice, or your friend wants to give you some advice too. So let's talk about a few patterns you can use, to share some advice, or you might hear some advice as well. So here, I think you should see a doctor, or I think you should start looking for another job. I think you should blah, blah, blah. So here, this is just a very general advice pattern, In this one, we've talked about this kind of pattern a few times. If I were you, I would do something. So in other words, the speaker is saying, if it were me, if I were in your situation, I would choose this course of action. I would do this thing. So if I were you, I would take a long vacation. I don't know. If I were you, I would find a new hobby, for example. So think about these two. Of course, if it's a very, maybe not such a serious situation and you want to just help the other person relax, you can say, don't worry about the problem. In other words, the problem the person has introduced. So don't worry about your coworker, or don't worry about that noisy neighbor, or don't worry about that girl or that guy. So maybe things will be okay. So this one is kind of a light, like, don't worry about it. Garrison has a nice one on Facebook. I think you should mind your own business. That's an expression. So he's used, I think you should mind your own business. Mind your own business means it's not about you. So I don't want to talk to you about that thing. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Nice one. Nice one. So it's a little bit different from these expressions for sure. All right. So those are a few ways to give advice to people. So I hope that those are useful for you in listening and in speaking as well. Alrighty. Wow, we are already almost done. That was fast. It's always so fast. But we need to finish up today's live stream. So thank you, as always, for joining us. But we'll wrap up today's lesson. And thank you, as always, to everybody for joining and for chatting and for sending your questions and for liking the video. Super helpful. And thank you for your example sentences, too. Excellent. Of course, if you have other questions, please send them in the chat and I will check them after the live stream and try to answer them in next week's lesson. But next week we are going to talk about work slang. This is next week's topic. So at the office or at work, so there might be like some business slang or like some expressions that are unique to the office. We're going to talk about some examples of those and maybe how to use them and what they mean. So we're going to talk about this next week. That will be Wednesday, February 21st. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Eastern Standard Time. So that means New York City time, 9 p.m. New York City time next Wednesday, February 21st. So please join us then. Please join us then, and we'll talk about office slang, work slang. All right. So I'm going to go now, but as always, please make sure to check out this week's free stuff. You can find the free PDFs from the link in the link below the video on YouTube, or the link above the video on Facebook. So definitely check that out. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you again for liking and sharing the video and sending your comments. Have a great week. Have a great day. Have a great night, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.